Our opening song is called Science Machine. It's from Stephen Cogswell. Get it at awtfy.com. That's awtfy.com/science.
I feel like we have to run that one through the science machine one more time. You can solve your problem of playing too many video games by playing video games.
Pause within a pause.
I love you with all my heart, and you love me with all your heart.
Well, this is all foreshadowing, so
All irony. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
I got totally praised on goofball.
What do I do? What do I do, Justin?
God. All right, pause within a pause within a pause.
We're at a nexus. We're at a nexus.
The woman next his penis.
Sure. You're welcome for not having any idea what we're talking about.
Fucking vultures.
Oh, I can't believe it's happened again. We did it. We pulled the wolves over the universe's eyes, and here we are, still live on a Tuesday night in Austin, Texas. Joined as always in my BFF, not in OAK. It still is JRY, Justin Robert Young for a night attack. What's going on, buddy?
Oh my God, Brian. I feel like this show is going to go so well
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that I'm going to leave for 2 more weeks. And then I'm going to return again for the next 2 weeks.
Well, but I thought you had like a big trip. You're gonna...
Nope. Canceled it.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be 2 straight weeks when I was supposed to be in Italy, where I'll be live here in studio.
Man, that's a bold maneuver. And live in studio, maybe with a bunch of special guests coming up?
Indeed, Brian, look, I've seen 18 million possible ways that the next 3 weeks can happen. And this is
There's
the
only
only
way.
one that gets us paid when I'm on vacation.
Yeah, man. Live in studio, you've had a long day, got up at 3 a.m, and now you're hanging out. Here it is, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But the plan is we do tonight's show, then tomorrow we do a show, then we do another show, then you go home, and then we do another show.
Yeah.
and then you get
one more show.
then 2 whole weeks of
Yeah.
no shows.
And then, well, so we'll all get kind of a production break for doing all the banked
gonna be
episodes
weird.
and everything.
I
You
feel like
we're
we're
gonna lose the magic.
Do you remember, Bryce? Did you ever see the anti-drug commercial where the dude is like, it's almost like he's doing a Robin Williams bit or something. He's like, oh, I love cocaine. It makes me work really hard, and I need to work really hard so I can make a lot of money, so I can buy more cocaine. So the cocaine makes me work really hard. Have you seen this?
I have not.
Okay.
Look up cocaine
see-
makes me work really hard.
Yeah,
we
there
need
you
to
go.
find out because
Anti-drug-
I have a vague memory. Number one, 80s anti-drug commercials.
Wait.
The best anti-drug commercials.
Apparently, they were fucking ads for the commercials, and they're
Yes.
still coming out. Like it's you're driving down the street, and there's a billboard out of the corner of your eye. You look up, and it just says marijuana, and in very tiny font it says, "Not cool." Same thing for drinking and driving. A giant, it's showing a beer pong thing, and in a jaunty font.
There's one on the highway in Austin that's just like, it looks like a lit, super awesome party, and it's just like, don't be this cool. Stop drinking, teens, and certainly don't turn at the left light where you'll have somebody not ask for your ID.
Well, and on top of that, like I remember the anti-drug folks coming to school, and in order to explain to us why we shouldn't do freebasing, they spend 20 minutes explaining how freebasing works. And they're like, well, why would somebody do that? And that was always the best moment. It's like, why would somebody do LSD? It's like, well, what they would say is that it enlightens their mind, and they have a hallucinogenic, mind-expanding experience. They see the face of God.
It's just
But you don't want that one either.
No. They're all explanations that should end with 7 periods, and then like those are all the explanations. Wait, hold on. Here we go, folks. In case you were thinking about blowing some rails, I'm sorry to fucking shit on your party here, but we're gonna.
I do coke.
Hold on, pause it. Number one, the first.
I'm telling you, the ads are insane.
The first few seconds are like it's a literal visual description of somebody doing coke. And accurate, my friend tells me.
So I can work longer. So I can earn more. So I can do more coke. So I can work longer. So I can earn more. So I can do more coke. So I can work longer. So I can earn more. So I can do more coke. So I can work longer.
The end.
At the end. Wow, when's the last time you saw a commercial that ended with the words "the end"?
Especially after the main character gains superpowers and is able to walk so fast they
And also-
transpose space and time.
It must be fucking rich as hell with all the more money he's making, with all the more coke he's doing.
Well, and he owns a house with a coke room.
Can we start ending Night Attack with the end? And we can open with "Welcome to Night Attack" and by Brian Rushton and Justin Romer Young.
Yeah. Can we license the theme song for Family Ties? Look into that, Bryce. I'd like to welcome Bonnie Brushwood to the program. How you doing, Bonnie?
Hello, I'm doing good.
Are you fresh off your 1 week boycott?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on where the conversations go. I
mean,
think
like,
there's a little.
So are you saying that if we take the A block in a very specific and descriptive Hearthstone direction for a third consecutive week, you, like the audience, will stop listening and leave the room?
I'll tell you what, I bet Bryce can give us a 1 minute counter. We could do our new segment called "Shut Up About Hearthstone." Get it over with and go.
All right, and go.
Hours away, Brian.
Yeah, no, today's the last day. You only get it a month at a time, and I'm at rank 1. I hit rank 1, which I've never done before, which means if 5 wins gets me in the club, no losses.
Consecutive wins.
Yeah, correct. So after this, I guess we have to do the war room, right? We have to make this a big rallying team effort. No,
I mean, last time I think you lost stars when we were trying to do Hearth and Oaths.
Yeah,
30
but
seconds.
But this time I believe.
And this time, Brian,
Will achieve.
I believe in you.
Okay. But meanwhile, separately, you're doing really well. You're all the way up to what? Rank 3, 4? 2?
3, but it's not ruining my life, so let's focus on you.
He's just got to do some Hearthstone so he can earn more.
So he can do more Hearthstone.
Hearthstone.
So he can buy more cards.
Yeah.
So he can be better at Hearthstone.
Hey, yeah. I just gotta play some Hearthstone so I can do my emails, so I can make more money, so I can play more Hearthstone.
Too close to home, man. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bop. Good segment. Are you excited for your trip?
I am.
Is it close enough that it's real, or is it still like, well, let's just do our homework so that we can clear the playground?
It will
that's
become
a real
real in the
phrase.
next 2 weeks when I start reading things about Roman history, so I can feel happy about being there and looking at things that are old.
Yeah.
'Cause I know a little bit about Roman history, and I'd like to see some of the old. I wrote a college paper about pre-antiquity Roman mystery religions.
Go on.
So they were all like the snake cults and everything, and basically all the things that mythologically wound up being picked and chose and put into other religions as they.
Yeah. So do you have an agenda as a pair of atheists going into the Vatican? What is your secret agenda?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I might go visit the Vatican. Because we have a friend there.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I mean, the Vatican is rad. It's the seat of power for centuries. There has been empires have risen and fallen. The Catholic Church remains the same. In many ways, the big boy never left.
Well, and I would imagine there'll be I don't know, a sense of time travel or stuff. I don't know.
I'm mostly looking forward to going into their gift shop so I can make Stone Temple Pilots references and then just look around.
Wait,
and be like,
is Stone Temple Pilots the Vatican gift shop? Tales from, God damn it.
That'll be me.
Is it Tales from the Vatican gift shop?
Songs
from the
Tiny
Vatican.
music, songs from a Vatican gift shop.
Lady picture hides behind something.
There we go.
bedroom door.
Art School Girlfriend. I'll be humming Art School Girlfriend and just waiting for someone to notice.
Big Bang Baby.
Yeah.
You see the people that check out, they're selling the graven images of God. And
Whoa,
they're
whoa,
like, But anyways.
Oh, you want him to go full Christ on this shit and
Yeah,
start
do you think I
smashing
should
all
go
that
in
stuff?
Jesus cosplay? Like, is that is that cool there? Like, is it like a con or like a wrestling show?
Okay,
or
what you got to
something?
do is you got to do like you're explaining to people patiently. You're like, well, I'm actually like Jesus' dad, but steampunk. That's why I'm dressed this way.
Oh no, I remember I said in the live show I wanted to do crack in the Vatican, but my wife told me no.
No, well, I mean, if you're ever
Killjoy.
well, you could at least pretend.
I can.
Can
I
you,
can lie about
Can you
it.
cosplay?
But I can lie about a lot of things, like
Yeah, I want you to-
me and the Pope did an elephant walk.
I want you to
Google
walk.
it.
I want you to walk into the gift shop and cosplay like have an actual glass pipe and be all like, "Don't mind me, I'm just gonna do a little crack."
And then the Vatican,
See?
is going to like come apart like a anthropomorphic human being and go yawn.
You're like, "I've seen some shit, bro."
I'm the Vatican, and then me and the Vatican will solve crimes. And it's gonna be my new animated
I'm
series.
thinking there's no actual discussion about crack in the Bible. So, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. You're like, it doesn't not say.
Not eating.
Yeah,
You know.
I do crack so I can pray to God, so I can be more holy, so I can smoke more crack, so I can pray to God, so I can be more holy.
So are you upgrading your flight? You going to do some kind of special,
We thought about it, and we'll see as we get closer. But those international flights, man, like
they
you're,
get a little bit pricey.
yeah, you're talking about a couple grand that
Yeah.
you're spilling.
The only good experiences I've had flying, I guess there's really two. I had a little bit of extra legroom when Google flew us out to Cannes, France.
Oh, that was amazing.
And then
So I will.
That was
we're,
worth it.
We're on United going out, so we'll be able to get. I think we did upgrade to the extra legroom seats, but we're not in the lay flats or the first class or anything.
yeah, and then the only other time was business class when I moved to Norway as a child. That's it.
Oh,
And my
really?
dad's.
Oh wait a minute, Hold on.
business was paying.
Let me ask. All right, I'm going to put you guys
Oh.
into a real life scenario. That
Okay,
actually
okay.
happened.
Right on.
Yeah.
So you're both in, let's say, row 7A. That's like just out of first class. So
Yeah.
you're right up front in the nice seats. And then
Oh, I know. Can I guess where this is headed? You got
I'm
to.
literally going to say it, and you're going to do a lot of squirming from here on out.
All right.
Because I come up to Brian. I am the flight attendant. Excuse me, Mr. Brushwood.
Yes.
You've been upgraded to first class.
Oh, have I? That's wonderful. It's a very long flight, and I would love the extra room to relax and take care. Thank you very much.
Now, what do you say to Bonnie, who's sitting next to you?
Oh,
12-hour flight.
oh. Ooh.
Hello. Remember me?
Hey.
Yeah, I'm thinking he probably ought to take it because he's such a fucking baby when he doesn't get his sleep.
Well, number one.
Two on the
The real
nose.
question is, do you allow him to take it?
Oh, yeah.
Because there is no doubt that the fulcrum of these decisions is with the woman.
Yeah. No doubt he gets to take it, but we have to switch out halfway through the flight.
Yeah, that works.
So, I like
there we go.
that.
Time slicing. Sweetheart, I'm sad to announce that our chairs are getting a divorce. Listen, I'll be with one of them half the time, but then I'm going to come back and visit these two.
I'm actually so heartened to hear you say that
Yeah?
because literally that's what happened.
Yes!
Except I gave her the seat, and then she came
Aw.
back and
But
gave it back
meanwhile,
to me.
like for you get a tangible benefit. You're like, you tell me this lady takes a hike and I get two chairs.
I know.
That's
2
pretty
chairs
great.
is pretty
Oh
good.
no! I think they moved somebody up.
Oh,
that's-
no.
yeah. Okay, all right. Whoa, about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I have to sit next to a stranger.
Well, no. Yeah, if you took first shift, then you would be sitting next to a stranger. Although in first class, you're sitting next to strangers all the time.
Yeah.
But you're in pods that you're
Yeah,
both
you're in
able to lay
pods,
down.
and it's really like not okay to talk.
I'll tell you what, man.
Right?
I felt
I don't know.
weird-
There's like some cool, like super rad first class hangs that
Yeah?
happened when I was on the flight to Singapore. I had that was when I was like 1K, so I was able to like just push a free upgrade, and I wound up just having like you're just on a 12-hour flight to Beijing, and I was just like, hey, I look like a hobo, and you're apparently the CEO of a children's clothing company. Let's just get wine drunk and hang out. Wow.
There is
cool.
as you walk back, like you can. There's a quiet jealousy that I really enjoyed our trip to Australia because we got to engage in sitting next to someone and it being totally fine to just lay on top of them or whatever. But it's like when you're traveling alone, you just see that you're like, you motherfuckers, all of you with your own warm, huggy pillows that you get to lay right on top of.
Yeah.
So Brian, you would take the first shift, or
I
would
mean,
you offer it to Bonnie?
I would do, to be honest, I would do.
I feel like
whatever.
you would offer it to Bonnie.
Well, if I had the choice, I would make sure that the
You're a
area
gentleman,
is
a true
secured.
scholar.
Bonnie just gave me a wink and just and a face that only said "Dare to dream."
Well, because
Never stop dreaming, kid.
because in my mind, what I would be worried about is I would say, "Oh, you go on," and then next thing you know, there's some bullshit like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's only for are you Brian Brushwood?" And like I would secure the territory.
Oh no! By the way, they got mad. They got mad
Oh,
because
they did.
well, because not because of the name. Because I was like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna give it to my wife," and they were like, "Okay, that's fine," and they like made sure everything was okay. The problem was then as she
got
switched
mad.
back,
Oh.
and
They got
they had
mad.
already what?
Because of the meals.
It was the meals. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got
They had-
mad. 'Cause-
they
okay,
had-
so all right, the quick improv scene. We're up front and they're mad. They're like, "This motherfucking bitch." They're like,
Oh
"Wait,
my god! This piece of shit.
All right,
This Captain Save
Curtis,
a whole
Curtis,
fucking
Curtis,
nonsense.
calm down. Curtis, I
I
know
swear to God, I'm on this. Look, I've been flying
Curtis-
this route from SFO to Narita for over 20 years.
All right, listen,
and
I've
I've
vouched-
never seen such amateur horse shit. When I was a young boy in Kyoto, I would never have this kind of disrespect.
All right, listen, I know they're all a bunch of cocksuckers.
They are. They are cocksuckers. Why in Japan we learn respect and discipline? Rules are followed. It's me, Curtis, from Kyoto. I'm very angry.
That's great acting.
I know.
Wait, but who was Curtis? Was he in the seat or was he the attendant?
No one knows. He's very angry and he's from Kyoto. That's all that the character let on.
He's wearing a full chef's uniform.
If I'd gotten more than 4 hours of sleep, maybe we would have learned more. We have to live with what we have.
So, have you ever had a flight that like you just like I would rather die? Just this is okay. No matter how many flights you had, there's one flight that you think this is it. This is the worst.
Like in terms of I'm bored and I want to kill myself, or in terms of this fight feels
I know
dangerous?
for me that a woman sat down next to me who smelled so bad. I traveled for the next 10 years with a. I took a contact lens case and I put Vicks Vapor Rub in there, and it was like never again.
Oh
And
no!
so- and so-
No!
so then, you know,
Here's what it was, and I love. By the way, go ahead and listen to the pre-show where we just swore to the audience that we were not going to talk about plane
A
stuff
whole
anymore
thing about it.
because it's unrelatable. But YOLO, we have 3 episodes to record this week.
Patreon.com/Night Attack.
So I was actually on the way here, and it was a harrowing journey to the airport because I had left late, and there was a gigantic traffic jam on the bridge that I normally get to the airport at.
Harrowing. You were walking and you heard.
Well, I was driving there, and for whatever.
Welcome to the airport.
The monks are welcoming me to the airport.
Yeah, I hope you're not afraid of being harrowed. The red lane is for unloading and loading only.
The blood of Christ could be purchased for $3 once we're at 10,000 feet.
Welcoming to harrowing airport. So I was late for the flight. I miraculously make it on, like literally as they're about to close the door. And I sit in my seat, and the lady next to me has a daughter who is watching
What the fuck? What
on her phone.
I'm already mad. I don't even know, but she had a daughter and she was watching.
With no headphones.
Oh, no.
Oh,
It was the
yeah.
Disney musical where all the villains' kids are in high school.
No. That's awful.
As
Yeah.
loud as it, and she kept
Yeah.
turning it up
Oh,
because
she
because
couldn't hear.
because she couldn't hear.
Because she's on an
Yeah.
airplane.
And for whatever reason, I feel like I had like either my headphones like that I had on like weren't charged. I didn't have other ones, and so I literally am just trying to kill time without listening to anything but this Disney musical.
It's called Descendants.
So Descendants. So I listened to Descendants in its entirety.
Wasn't the Descendants like an avant-garde band from San Francisco or something?
Well, apparently it was also the one where Ursula's daughter was the mean girl. Because here's the worst part about it, is that at a certain point, I'm like, well, that's the most interesting thing that's happening in my life is just listening to Descendants. As much as I hate it. But now I'm like trying to sneak a peek on this like 9-year-old's.
No, that's not
9-year-old's
creepy.
phone. I know. And I'm like, well, look, I don't know what you want me to do. I can either creepily stare over your shoulder or I can yell at you.
So he's all Mr. Bean, like leaning over. No, I welcome to my life. It's just
I
like
would assume,
that all
yeah,
the
that
time.
you
And
you
then
are
at some point-
you live at all times with the Descendants being played with no headphones.
Yes, basically.
Is there an age where you can tell the girls, "Hey, headphones"? You're not.
No, actually, there's an age where a switch flips, and it's like, will you take those off? Because once
it
they
just
fall for them,
happens.
that's all there is.
That's it.
It's
yeah.
once they want a little privacy, like you say, "What are you watching?" one too many times, then it's headphones all the time.
There's like,
So they
guess who
don't
doesn't
want
get to know dick about shit?
Yeah,
So-
like I don't know, and I'm just like. Josie tries to tell me about these shows she's watched. She watches the YouTube.
The
Oh my
YouTube.
God, YouTube people, right?
Sure. They're a special breed.
There's a special breed. But I did hear today that on her, like they were watching a video for school, and on her feed shows this man blowing up a car, and then the guy
Yeah,
next to her.
save that one. That almost got real dark.
And then the guy goes, "Oh my gosh, blowing up a car," and she's like, "Yeah, that's my dad." He goes, "Man, he's almost got 1 million subscribers."
And she goes, yeah, almost.
Almost.
Yeah. Maybe someday if he gets his act together.
Yeah.
So has she like grown into a jaded daughter of YouTube celebrity?
Well, I don't know, she's getting close to hit those puberty years. So I don't know when she's suddenly going to, decide we're awful people, but I do know that it's like she keeps
But you know winter is coming.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, winter's
But
coming.
I do know that she wanted to go to VidCon. And so I'm like, yeah, we can go to VidCon. I've never gone to VidCon before. In my mind, I'm thinking of every time I've talked to anybody about going to VidCon, they're all like, it's great if you want to feel famous. Don't know that you get much business done there or make any money. And I'm like, you know what? I do stage shows. I don't need to fly to scratch that itch. But then the idea of impressing my 11-year-old daughter. It's like, all right, well, now we're on to something.
Yeah.
And so I think I was like, oh yeah, is it my old boss, Jim Louderback, CEO?
No, we
of
were
VidCon?
we were in Vegas having this conversation, and you emailed Louderback.
Yeah, oh, that's right. And you're the one that called me, and you're like, do it right now. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
what's up? So I found an old thread where we were. I found an old thread that I knew would get his attention from the title, and because it was like from a problem from like 4 years ago. But then it's like, hey, it's great. I was like, hey man, if I'm gonna go if there's anything I could do to help, I'd be happy to do that. So I don't know. I may get on stage and do some stuff. But
So you did hear back from him?
oh yeah. No, he's super into it. We just got to figure out. I'm sure it's a chaos shit show, right? And so, but basically, I said, hey. If I'm going to do this, I would love to do it in a way that I help you, whether it's, showing up at a panel or filling some time or whatever. And also I get to impress my 11-year-old daughter.
Yeah. I mean, that's really the big thing. It's like, hey, just put me on panels with people that she knows that aren't me.
Take a look at this. Let me show you text messages from during the pre-show.
Oh.
Text messages are now being read.
This is a segment I like to call "Aw."
Oh, just she's
Hold on,
texting.
wait, hold on, wait. Let's see if we can keep it going. Let's see if we can keep it going. Let's see if we can keep it going.
She's very excited.
It's Josie texting her dad saying, "I'm so excited for VidCon. I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking about it."
Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Aww. You know what? The only problem is, I don't know how I can possibly afford to go all the way to VidCon.
Oh, Jesus, Brian, you are
think
very
it's-
poor.
I think it's not in Austin.
Man, I'll tell you what.
I probably have to get on a plane or some shit.
If there's one thing that a full first segment talking about first class accommodations can prime the pump for, it is letting everybody know that you can support this show if you go to patreon.com/nightattack. Yes, friends, it's patreon.com/nightattack is where you need to go. That's where you can become a patron of this show. That's where you can get early access to our pre-show and our post-show. If you like this hour and you're listening free, well, then guess what? You can have 3 hours every single week because you can add the pre and post show. And, man, there's going to be some great stuff coming up over the next few weeks
Hells
because
yeah.
we're going to be recording a lot of it.
And if you are somebody who is a new contributor or you up your pledge, we want to up your day by doing a little thing that we like to call...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Night Attack new Patreon name chant corner hour.
It's an hour of it.
Listen up. I've been working on my new project. It's me. Welcome to my crazy lab.
Oh, hello. I'm an old artisan.
Yep. Jacob's Ladder electricity. Turn that off. Igor, come over here.
I'm also Igor. I'm an old artisan named Igor. What can I help you with, sire?
Listen, 1.0 Frankenstein didn't work out very well, did he?
No, he fell on his face and then up his own butt.
That's right. Well, this time I'm going to do it right with a generous contribution thanks to our founder. I'm creating a new... grab me a corpse.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, this one's great.
It's a bit gassy, but that's fine.
Well, you gotta burp it before you reanimate it. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me get it all out.
All right, listen. If we're going to...
You gotta get the end of it like a toothpaste tube.
What's the opposite of ASMR?
All right, listen.
One more. All right.
All right, here's the thing. I've been working on these. I think the reason Frankenstein didn't work out is because we did shock him. I was right about that. You have to shock them into being awake and alive again.
Of course.
But
and of course, we named him Frankenstein because of our old patron, Ted Frankenstein.
Correct.
So what's our new
who,
patron's
by the
name?
way, dropped his pledge, so eat shit, Ted.
Wow, Ted Frankenstein. What a monster.
Listen, I think we can animate this corpse if only we shock him a different way. Say something so shocking, it will cause this corpse to reanimate. And you know what? By the way, this is a workshop. This is a group thing. Igor, it could be you. A bride of Frankenstein. Condolences. Sorry for your loss. I know we were shit-talking your ex-husband.
Yeah. That he's dead
He's
now.
a real shitbag.
Oh, well, man, I feel like we're all on simpatico on that.
So say something shocking.
The Last Jedi was good.
All right, that's pretty. No, I saw a twitch. A Bride of Frankenstein. Say something shocking.
Yeah.
Oh, you can. I believe in you. We all believe in you.
We all believe in you right now.
Just say something you would never say in polite company.
Exactly, but on the internet.
I'm without. Sometimes farts smell good.
Wait.
Yeah.
I saw Twitch.
Also, for what it's worth, I agree. You ever have like a dog fart and it makes you weirdly hungry? I hate it when that happens. It's really gross.
Yeah.
You find
it makes
yourself
me really horny,
salivating.
too.
You're like,
hungry. Sorry.
hungry. Yes,
Sorry.
sorry. That's what I was saying.
We'll circle back to that
Hold on,
later.
let me get one of the neighbors. Knock, 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 knock.
Oh, hello.
Yes, please. We have a chance. If you just say something
Do you
shocking
know what
enough-
time it is? It's
Yes.
so late. The thunder.
Well, it's a night attack. It's a little thing I like to
Yeah.
do.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Hey, by the way,
Is
Ted
that popular?
Frankenstein's dead, in case you were wondering. Yeah, he was a real piece of shit. Even his wife said so. So don't feel bad in case you were thinking about feeling bad.
I'm shocked. I'm in shock about that.
Oh, my God.
Oh, well, speaking of shock,
Glad you're in the mood.
you feel so invigorated being in shock. Well, we need you to shock this corpse that we're trying to reanimate over here. Who is superior to Frankenstein in every way? Just say something so shocking he'll wake up.
I'm gonna get right into his ear, and go.
Oh.
Mayonnaise is good.
Rise, my nation! Stand before the superior Stein, Andrew Stein!
Andrew Stein!
Oh, Andrew Stein!
Andrew Stein!
Andrew Stein!
Andrew Stein!
All right, this is your new wife. She used to be banging this other guy. He was a piece of shit, though.
Yeah, so don't feel bad, Andrew.
That's right. Hopefully no other Steins feel threatened by the immense amazement of Andrew Stein.
Yeah. And hey, fuck you, neighbor.
Hey.
Mayonnaise is trash.
Oh, shit. R.L. Stein. Oh, shit. Why are you here?
It is I, R.L. Stein.
Ah, damn it.
I've come to challenge Andrew Stein
now-
for the prize of
Now,
greatest
hold on.
Stein.
No. I just got him created. You have no idea the unspeakable things we had to speak in order to get him up here.
Well,
You're
that
not going to mess this up.
That reminds me of a Goosebumps book I've written.
Well, hold on. Andrew, you make out with your lady. Go on.
I'm sorry. Are there any Goosebumps fans in the
Ah,
house?
Jesus, R.L. Stein. Always. I keep
Remember
telling
the
you.
marionettes?
I keep telling you, everybody has to sign a document that they are not a Goosebumps fan to even get in here.
It was
you don't have to ask.
1989.
God damn it, it's always with
Mayonnaise
this one.
is good.
I was in my hot tub
Alone.
alone.
Let me guess, were you smoking something?
Maybe.
Wait, was it poorly rolled?
A little bit.
Was it a blunt?
Bingo! I called that book The Poorly Rolled Blood.
Wait, that doesn't sound like your style at all, R.L. Stein.
Ninja Bomb.
Thank you very much, R.L. Stein.
You're welcome.
Andrew Stein.
Andrew Stein.
A case of the mistaken sign. It's my newest masterwork. By the way, slowly fade out as a smug R.L. Stein writes his signature and then closes his latest manuscript on our last 3 minutes.
Wait, turns out he's a fan. he's like, you've done it again, boys. Little find replace on names, and I'm good to go. Hey, do you have a 1-minute story, Bonnie, you want to tell us?
Sure. So one time I was listening to a master
Renegade
class.
is-
Yeah. Go ahead.
It was Renegade.
Renegade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Renegade. Do I need to be
Yeah.
looking?
Wait,
that
Well,
up?
don't be much of a cattle humper. I'm going to X that modem and let you know that this coaster rage says, Brian, you need to bring the next
buck. I need the buck.
You need the next buck.
I
yeah.
need the bucks. No, and none of these Peds 25. That's like a bad Blink 182 cover band. But then BioCow cheered. So sorry, it was your
went,
story though. Keep going.
Yeah, go.
What was it that Ben Franklin said?
Ben Franklin was talking about writing,
And Mr. Bruick.
Yeah.
about writing
and-
horror.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Genre.
yeah, but then Mr. Bruick rolled in and said,
Said that
Jeff sent me.
"Yeah, that's a Mr. Bruick impression."
And Jeff was saying that to make something truly scary,
You had to dead the polymers
Yeah,
first.
dead polymers.
without a doubt.
And then they all said, "Hello, Anchorage."
As they open their theater together on
That's a
Anchorage's
great
Main
story that
Street.
you told us from
Wow.
your life.
It would have been a lot easier if she had
If you-
any
if-
access to seeing
Yeah.
what
Unfortunately,
any of this
facing
is
the
happening.
it's hard to tell a
know.
story when you can't see the names. You have to.
End by Bonnie and Brian and Justin.
Hey, Bryce.
Bonnie, are you taking the R.L. Stein masterclass?
I did. I read a little bit of it. Well, just a couple of chapters, but he's got some. It's a good class. I mean, it's interesting.
Hey, you know what dropped today is
What?
Penn and Teller's masterclass.
Oh,
Featuring friend of the show, one
Teller.
Matt Donnelly,
Oh, really?
getting taught by Lost Too Soon legend Johnny Thompson.
R.I.P.
Oh.
So it is them teaching magic, and then they break down his act, and they
Yeah.
hold nothing back because it's all behind a paywall, so they don't have to hear somebody complaining
Oh,
that the
yeah,
invisible deck is too
yeah.
precious to be taught. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Bryce, before we go any forward,
Sure.
at halftime, who is our bit boss?
Oh, Bit Boss is your man Jeff 1 with 777 bits, followed by BioCow and Renago.
That's a lot of bits.
That's a lot of bits.
A lot of bits. Thank you for the bits. We have a game, guys.
Oh, hells yeah.
Oh my good God!
I forgot we even do those.
Yeah, this is a return.
We're so busy reanimating corpses of our patrons. Wait a minute. Are we?
Uh-oh.
We're gambling.
Uh-oh,
Somebody
they
brought
pulled
a
out-
sack.
Oh, they pulled
All
out
right.
the dollar sacks, the dollar coin sacks.
The sacks of jacks. Sack
Saxon
Juiz.
Jackson.
That's right. We've got a game here. This is a returning game created by BioCow and Mrs. BioCow. This is Celebrity Highs and Lows. You remember Celebrity Highs and Lows?
I don't.
Don't.
It's like, look, we do the show. We don't watch the show.
Yeah, I
It's a little bit. Always. That's the problem when you're always trying to think of the next pun.
You forget the last one.
Yeah.
So many people know that certain celebrities are super tall or super short, but just how tall or short are they?
right.
So we're going to guess your ability to guess the height of the celebrities who are no longer with us. That's right. It's the RIP edition.
Okay. All right. Here, I'm gonna take.
R.I.P. edition.
RIP edition.
God damn
The
it.
game is scored with golf rules, so if you're off by 3 inches, you'll get 3 points.
Okay.
So you want to
Okay.
keep your point score low. The person with the lowest score will win. Bonnie, if you want to play, I'm gonna have to keep you separate here. I'm gonna keep you separate, but equal. You will get the equal amount of points.
Separate.
that worked out
but
really well.
equal.
Everybody loves that method. It's
Yeah.
never been overturned.
Okay.
It's
long as I
never
can
been
have
the source of a lot of contention.
As long as I can have all my girlfine pals come and
Okay,
pose
well,
with me.
all right.
Oh my goodness, we're not doing that.
Wow, so you were really upset with that moment.
Oh my.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Well,
it.
yeah, that's a
With-
different
in
time.
an appropriate
different
moment.
Talking about
time.
2 different shows already. So these were collected by Ted Google by asking Google, and Google said what the height was. So if you have a problem with it, ask Google.
All right.
But we're going to go into our first round here of Celebrity Highs and Lows. Round 1, we're going to start with Justin.
Didn't we used to have sound effects?
I don't have them pulled up.
Music
I
I
have
like it better now. I prefer it better.
I have to. I'm having to man the board very diligently
It's
this
fine.
week.
Yeah.
Our first round is Prince. Justin, we're starting with you, Prince.
I believe that Prince was 5'4".
You're gonna say 5'4". Okay.
I'm gonna say 5'2", eyes are blue, mixed with red. They're purple.
Purple rain. Purple.
I-
Have you seen
I
this shit
think-
with Nick
I
Cage
actually
singing
think,
Purple Rain
No.
in the
Oh.
karaoke bars? He's apparently on a reign of terror in Los Angeles, loudly and angrily singing Purple Rain.
Why angrily?
Are you going to look into the eyes of Nick Cage and try to suss out the logic? Because many men have tried. Many women too, and none have come back with an answer.
That's crazy. Because what's funny? All right.
Maybe he's trying to sing it with intensity.
Yeah. Well,
turns
that's
out
something he
he-
has to
Once
work
more,
on.
with Intensity.
Intensity. Well, I think 5'4" is right, but I'm gonna say 5'3". I'm gonna go down the middle.
Split the diff.
And Brian, I'm sorry, I missed you. You said 5'5"?
5'2".
5'2". I see. 5'2". All right, I'm gonna see. Apparently, I can't edit this document.
Oh no, you can't enter our guesses
So
in
I
there.
can't- I,
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna have to do this manually for this first round here.
Okay.
Let's see. Uh-oh. One of you is exactly right.
Come on, baby. Come on.
And that is Brian.
Yeah.
Oh my
Scores
gosh.
0 to 1 to 2.
I can't believe it.
So yeah, Bonnie's got 1 point. Justin's got 2. Now, oh, good. It looks like I've got it here.
Wait.
Yeah, you don't want points. It's a golf score.
It's golf
I
score.
still have 0 points.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, is how you
Yeah.
pronounce 0.
And that like all tied into like he was wearing the high heels and stuff. It was all kind of like
He was a short man.
he's a short man.
But every once in a while, short people like to exaggerate their height, and then it gets listed larger in like
Yeah.
the official listings, and that's really what we're dealing with is like what they were listed as kind of publicly.
Right.
But I guess
then-
Prince didn't give a fuck.
But
He was
like
Prince.
he wound up having like all those hip issues and everything tied to
How short he
the-
was?
No, to the shoes. Like he was wearing like
Oh,
those like
that's why he was
crazy
on like
boots and
crazy.
everything.
Is this a thing?
painkillers?
Yeah, like he totally messed up his hips from all his crazy dancing and
high
mostly
heels.
because he was wearing
Wow.
those types of shoes.
Wow.
So because he was real anti-drugs, but then he was in a lot of pain.
Yeah, he didn't seem anti-drugs.
No.
Oh no,
I
no,
mean,
no, no. He
now
was
that
like
you-
he was. Well, I mean, like he wound up dying of an overdose.
Right,
but,
correct.
Right,
Yeah.
but that's the thing.
Well,
is,
but it was specifically because like he had taken a break and then went back to doses that he had been doing before.
Yeah.
And then that was too much.
yeah. But
We know a
like,
lot about Prince's death.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
we do.
finding out. A veritable Wikipedia up in this bitch.
yeah.
All right, let's go on to round 2.
You know what? It's growing on me.
It's great.
I like it. I love it.
Round 2, we're starting with Brian this time. Marilyn Manson. Oh, sorry, Marilyn
Because for a second I was like, oh, I know this because I stood next to him while smoke came out of his crotch. Also, I didn't know.
Beautiful people.
Also, I thought they were dead.
Very sorry, Marilyn Manson. You died. We're looking for Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe.
Did she blow smoke out of her crotch at the Magic Castle?
She-
Inside joke that no one knows. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think people have heard our show before, and we've told that story.
I
once
don't
or
think that
twice.
reference needs a lot of context.
5'1",
Brian's gonna say 5'1". Okay.
shorter than Prince. That's right. I said it. Come at me.
Ooh, shorter than. Okay. Justin.
So here's the thing: is that we're now dealing with mythology, because this is what the studio listed her at. There was like no celebrity culture at that point that would be like interested in finding out how big she really was.
Right.
But I always got the sense that she was tall, but I have no idea. I'm gonna go ahead and say taller than Brian at 5'2".
Oh, what a dick.
All right, Bonnie. What do you think for Marilyn Monroe?
I think she was 5'6".
5'6". Okay.
Oh,
All right, let's find out.
fucking basketball player.
Marilyn Monroe was 5'5".
How
That's-
many filthy points does that give me? 4?
That is going to give you 4 points, Brian. Justin, that's going to give you 3 points. Bonnie only got 1 point. I think that puts Bonnie in the lead. We'll have to see. We'll check the scores in just
We'll
a
have to
minute.
check the science machine.
We'll have to check that. we'll check that. We'll check that after.
Is
round
that
three.
running, by the way? I don't hear it.
No, we'll have to check.
Oh no! It actually
it's
it
green.
runs silently in the background now. Yeah,
That's right. The
deadly.
they have a
Yeah.
new processor.
it's actually it's all on separate servers. It's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud.
Yeah,
Beep, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop.
don't be offensive.
That's our word.
That's
That's their
computer's
word. That's their word.
All right, round
No,
3.
we're really not at that. Right? Like, I didn't miss the next, like.
The next thing, the next
next thing to be like
George
ashamed of
Clooney
it.
canceled for a computer slur.
They say it to each other.
I come in one day and hear Alexa and like Siri talking, and they're all like, "You beep boop boop beep boop boop."
Yeah. I said it with an AH.
All right, let's go into round 3. Abe Vigoda.
Oh, the Vagoats.
Oh, I got. Who's first?
Justin's going first.
You got your Vagoats.
Abe Vigoda.
Abe Vigoda.
Totes Vagoats.
Totes Vagoats.
As he was known.
Totes.
In the boats while he crossed the moats. I once
5'8".
traveled with Abe Vigoda. Totes Vagoats.
Wow, what an eerie mythological journey you
Yes,
and Abe Vigoda
not
went
as
on.
eerie as the story he told. He said once he was a dead man, but someone shocked him to life.
Who is Abe
And then he was chronicled in a tome by legendary author R.L. Stein.
he said, I'm totes. If I ever see him, I'll grab totes his scrotes.
Oh my gosh.
Because they're beefing.
Yes. I believe that was implied. Thank you. Also, who are you? Did you just wander
Oh
in?
no, I'm the audience surrogate.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm so dumb though. I don't know who this is.
He's a new character in this stirring drama called Please Answer the Question.
All right, fine. It's me. I'm the Red Skull. You saw me in Infinity War. I thought I didn't want to say in case anyone hadn't seen any of the Avengers movies. I think he's 6'4".
Oh.
Brian's gonna say 6'4" for Abe Vigoda. Bonnie, how tall do you think Abe Vigoda was?
Totes the goats.
I'm gonna say he's 6 even.
6 even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's find out. Abe Vigoda was listed as 6'1".
Hey.
Brian's the,
Yeah, we split the difference.
Bonnie's
killing it.
Bonnie's killing it. She's only got 3 points.
I asked on Twitter, like, what's a song that makes you think, simpler times?
Yeah.
And got really good responses. That's worth reading that thread.
There we go.
What were your favorites that came in?
Well, I said Too Unlimited, get ready for this, because it made me think of doing the magic shows at the age of 18 and 19 with C.J. Johnson, where I met Bonnie. Got a lot of songs that I vaguely remember. A lot of late 90s stuff. Oh, my favorite, though, was Len, Steal My Sunshine. I was like, yeah, that's a pretty classic Simpler Times song.
Is it better if it's a one-hit wonder?
I think so.
You feel
that
it more
song of the
preciously?
summer.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Where we at?
Our current scores: Brian is at 7, Justin's at 10, but Bonnie's in the lead with only 3 points.
What?
What indeed? We're gonna go to round 4 here.
Oh, I think somebody said "Pinch Me" by Bare Naked Ladies.
Round 4. Harry Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Who goes first?
This
Brian's
is the
going
first
first.
one. This
Brian's
is the
going
first one.
first.
True story. I am accessing my memory of standing next to Harry Anderson.
So
5'9".
So you were resting your chin on his belt buckle.
It's funny because I'm short. 5'9", I'll
You
say.
say 5'9". All right, Juice.
Six
I
feet
feel,
even.
I feel like you're looking at me and thinking, Brian's chin, a belt buckle.
I don't know. Mostly, I'm just like, I couldn't see where his belt is under the robe. So, like,
oh, under the robe. Now I
The judge's robe,
too,
yeah.
I too stood next to Harry Anderson,
Oh.
and I'm gonna put him taller though. I'm gonna say 6'2".
6'2".
6'2"
Yeah.
inches. All right, let's find out. Harry Anderson is listed at 6'4".
Yeah.
Bonnie once
I
again.
almost nailed it. I was gonna say 6'4", but
I know, we get it.
almost thought you said I
very
almost
attractive.
nailed him.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh God, no.
All of a sudden, I'm realizing I wasn't paying a lot of attention to my girl during that night, so I don't know.
Me?
Yeah,
No,
we
you
were
weren't.
we were married.
Yeah.
God damn it, Bon. All right.
All right, let's go on to.
I almost nailed him.
All right, let's go into round 5 here. And we're doing Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy. We're going to start with Brian on this. We're going to start with Justin on this one.
I think he was 6'3".
You say Leonard Nimoy was 6'3". Brian.
He's a tall dude.
6'2".
Brian's going to say 6'2". Bonnie, what do you think about old Leonard Nimoy?
6'6".
Lenny.
You're going to say 6'6".
Yeah.
God damn, that would be a basketball player.
All right, Leonard Nimoy is listed at 6 foot nothing.
Oh, really? I just
Brian-
blew up.
You blew a little
You
bit
just
of
blew him.
Well.
First you nailed one,
Well.
then you blew the
you
other.
blew 'em.
Oh, that's an image. I'm gonna write in some slash fic.
No, I
Well, so Bonnie did
It
blow a
appears
little.
as if we've come across a housewife in Austin, Texas. Brian types into his Google Doc.
So I'm in last now, I think.
No.
No?
No. Brian's at 16. Justin's at 17. But Bonnie still has only 11 points.
Really?
Sweeten it up.
God.
Sweeten it up.
Tight.
Darn. He
Oh.
seemed skinny in that way that made him like really tall. You know how like really tall guys
I
are
think he probably just
gone.
seemed tall next to other actors who
Yeah.
are very short.
Maybe.
All right, we got round 6 here. Pat Morita. Pat Morita.
You guys have to tell me who that is.
Hey, are we at an age where you can't even do an impression of Mr. Miyagi without facing backlash?
Oh.
Let's find out. Full screen, Brian.
Bryce, did you ever see that movie?
No, I haven't.
God damn it. Checkmate. Well, Daniel-san.
All right, we're going to start with Brian on this one. Brian, how tall do you think Pat Morita was?
5'4".
Brian's going to say 5'4". Justin, what do you think?
Because he was like eyeball to eyeball with Daniel Son in that movie, right?
Sure.
The game theory Brushwood comes out.
I know. Look at him. He's fierce.
God forbid we have a good show and the
Here's the
points
thing.
get tight.
I know.
Oh, I swear to God, if I would have asked that question on question 1, we would have gotten at least 5 minutes out of it. But now that we're on the
close
final
in.
round.
All right. All right.
If you say so, sir or ma'am.
I do remember
Puts
him.
on his glasses.
I do remember him seeming significantly shorter than Daniel LaRusso in that movie.
Shorter than a child.
First of all, he was like 21 in that movie.
I've never seen the movie. I can't.
He was playing like a 14-year-old,
Yeah.
but that's before they were
Allegedly,
casting.
so was that Dora the Explorer.
All right, Justin, we're looking for Pat Morita.
5'2".
You say 5'2". Bonnie,
I'll go in the middle. 5'3".
you're going to say 5'3". All right.
So Bonnie, after she almost nailed one,
Oh,
and then she blew the other, now she wants to get in the middle.
Oh, Jesus. Pat Morita's 5'3".
You're kidding me.
Oh my God! I'll
Incredible.
just do a victory lap.
So
Is that a thing? I don't know.
Do you want to know what I just realized? Is that when they're all grown up, our kids are going to think about us doing this podcast and have the exact same memories that I do about my parents playing bridge.
Yeah.
Like it was always parents doing old people stuff, and occasionally you would hear cause of laughter. Out
Sure.
there.
I mean, how much money did they fucking make, though? Don't get on them.
Go to bridgetreon.com/ no point or wait no what do you call it? Yeah, fuck it. I don't.
Are you looking for the bridge reference?
I almost had it. It's
Almost.
gone.
A bridge.
Oh,
No
man.
bridge, no bridge.
You need a bridge to that bridge.
Oh, I low bridged you, motherfucker. Shit, I imagine people playing bridge say to each other.
Trump. It's like at the beginning you call your shots like how many points you bid. I can't.
4 bricks. Build a bridge. In your face, bridge bitch.
So I did.
Hardcore bridge stories from under the bridge.
I did poke in.
That's where you gave your life away.
Sorry. I did talk to Penny and say, "Hey, it's gonna be extra loud tonight. You want some earplugs?" And she's like, "Nah." She's on summer. Like she started her summer.
Oh, she's
today.
off of school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't give a fuck.
All right, we're going to go to our final round here. This is a very close game. It's 18 for Justin, 17 for Brian, still 11 points for Bonnie. This one, everyone pull out your phones. I'm going to have you text me your answers. That's right.
Okay. That's smart.
As we go into our final round.
Hey, you know what's on our phones?
See, now, don't.
Let me make sure mine's
impeachable.
facing towards the camera so nobody accuses me of untoward activity.
Gentlemen and lady, I would like you to tell me how tall Vern Troyer was. So they're going to enter their answers now on their cellular telephones.
I don't have my phone with me.
Okay, Bonnie, you can
be last.
Yeah, you can just be
Okay.
last, and you'll just tell us after they finish. I can
But
tell.
here's where game theory comes in. Does anybody tell me who the who this guy is? Or
Vern
do I-
Troyer,
Yeah.
aka Mini-Me
Mini-Me.
from Austin Powers.
Oh, okay.
He was very tall. You remember, he was like, "It's me, but 5 times the size." I called him.
Oh, man. I could really-
Mini-Me.
I can really see screwing this up.
All right, I have got 2 answers.
I mean,
in
just
from
think
the
about how
boys.
big a turtle is.
What?
So
A turtle.
I'm trying. It's called anchoring. Now that you're thinking that you're going to be.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, man. I mean, he might just be a little ant.
Crawling
Crawling around.
I remember
starting
when.
in
Okay, I
ants
just
and
went.
powers.
I just went to the fair, so could he ride on the rides or not? Is he 42 inches?
Well,
Let's see.
I don't know. Bonnie, now I have both of their answers, so if you want to give me yours.
GT Brushwood over here, putting his hands together.
I'm gonna say he's
Are you able to see the image? Would you like to at least see the image here? If you want to
yeah.
poke
Oh,
your
the
head
guys
around?
get an image.
Yeah,
Oh,
poke your head around to these TVs and
Here,
and,
here.
Yeah.
and so you can get
Oh,
at least a look at
get
him.
a little gander at old Vern Troyer.
I mean, he looks at least 7 feet in that picture.
I mean, come on. He could start for the Pistons right now.
Dude, that
Shot
guy's
blocker,
got more money
rim
than
protector.
You do. I bet.
No, well, yes. He's
That's
a
right,
famous
he's
movie
the
star.
famous actor. Well, he's also dead.
I say, well, that's true. 36 inches. So I'm gonna say he's 3 feet.
Say 3'0".
Even. Eaves.
All
Oh
right.
gosh, I'm gonna be so embarrassingly wrong on this.
The other answers that I've got here, Justin came in at 3'11". Brian in at 3'4". So there's a lot of gap here.
My gosh.
Minding it.
Minding it.
Is there anything that you want to accidentally say that'll sound sexual about Vern Troyer?
Yeah.
All right. The correct answer we were looking for is
Did you peg it?
2'8".
Wow.
You pegged it.
She got it. She killed the
Wow.
game.
You were the one who brought it up.
Oh wow.
Well done. My goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Our final score
15.
13. I don't she should have 13 points.
13.
To
She's-
Brian's 25 and Justin's 33. Some of those numbers maybe don't quite add up, but thank you. Thank you to
Fuck
Mr.
it.
and Mrs. BioCow for this game. If you would like to send in a game and win a free sticker pack from stickersrdiaf.com, send it in to mail, MAIL, at nightattack.tv. Send in a list of stuff or a game. He made this whole doc that does all the math for me.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, that's right. And if we use your game on the show, we'll get you some free stickers. There we go.
Oh
Man,
my
hot
gosh.
damn. Good game. That was a really good one.
Good game.
Shall we do a little bit of diamond time?
Oh, indeed, Brian. Diamond Time is where you can shout out your project right here on the show. Again, that is at diamondclub.reddit.com or reddit.com/r/diamondclub. Just go ahead and look for the sticky post right there at the top of the page. Brian, can you go ahead and read the first one?
Indeed, I can. First off, at the top, as soon as it loads, as I continue to vamp and put characters together. There we go. The boneless one writes, "Hey, fellow night attackers, I just registered for my first charity marathon. In 1 month's time, I'm going to be skateboarding 25 kilometers, that's 15.5 miles, across the fair city of Toronto to raise money for the hospital for sick children. My nephew spent his first 2 weeks of life as a patient there, and the incredible work they do really inspired me to give back by doing something crazy like skateboarding for several hours straight. If y'all feel so moved, you can sponsor me and support the fine work this hospital does by going to bit.ly/Brandon Skates for Sick Kids. Everything is, the first letter of each word is capitalized except for some reason. So maybe capitalization doesn't matter.
Brandon Skates for Sick Kids.
Yeah.
Sign writes, "Hey everyone, quick update with my Mac situation. I've sourced a replacement refurbished 2012 MacBook, and I'm trying to work toward getting that. Thing is, it costs $600 I don't have, but you can help. If you go to GoFundMe.com/GetSignOnline, that is capital GETS, capital S, CYNE, capital ONLINE. Toss some cash, and you will get me ever closer to my goal of having a stable system again. And for everyone who's donated already, thanks for the bucks, fuckos."
Finally, Diamond Club, howdy, I'm Daniel J. Newman from the chat. I draw with knives. I've carved 90 lino cuts, I don't know how it's pronounced, since January, and you can see them at https://badass fucking drawing.
We need a link, Sheriff, again.
yeah.
It helps when you don't read the HTTPS.
Badass fucking drawing .storenvy, that's STORENVY.com. Donations, commissions, and shop sales help keep the dream alive. Diamond
cool.
Clubs.
Those are great.
They do. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
they're really good.
That's right. Hey, you guys want to vamp for 1 minute while I get
I mean,
together?
I don't know. Do you think we could pull that off, Justin?
How-
I don't know.
How tall do you think Vanna White was? Talk about vamping.
Ooh.
She had to
Vampa
be
White.
5'10".
Taller than Sajak, right?
Yeah, Sajak is short though.
Yeah.
I'd put
Would
Sajak
you- would
at
you- yeah.
5'7", roughly my height, 5'6", and Vanna at like 5'10".
I don't think say so. She stayed with them like the whole. Is that show still on?
I think she's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, they're
so
still
cool.
rocking. They know what they're doing. Did you guys remember there was that brief moment they were telling a story from like the 80s, and he casually mentions like, oh man, there was one time we went on break and we had a few too many margaritas, and we just barely made it through that episode. And then Fox News alert, Pat Sajak drunk on set.
Oh, no.
2 decades ago.
But I think they've kind of leaned into that mythology of
of like fuck it,
Yeah.
like it's letters.
Well,
Come on.
why would you care? Like, yeah, especially if you're Vanna White, you literally don't say anything. You stand in the back, you turn letters, and then you wave.
Yep. I know that role. I had the one line 3.
That's right.
you guys want to do a movie draft minute?
Yes, indeed.
All right. Here's your movie draft minute for the week of whatever this week is.
Man, Roberto, he's always tight with it.
That's right. With $0.
He was serious about not doing an intro next week.
Yeah, and it's weird that he's pausing just long enough for me to talk.
This is great that
Yeah.
he keeps getting interrupted. With 0 points and $0, his Team Sword and Laser still waiting for their first film. Let's see. With 70.
Man, you would think he would have edited out all those ends and ums.
Yeah.
Sorry.
With $73 million, it's Team Hammerson in 5th place. In 4th place, it's Grant with the Beerus with $172 million. Number 3, Team Night Attack with $291 million. With $393 million, it's Team Frog Pants in number 2. And in 1st place, with $414 million, it's Team John Trekker.
So somehow Frog Pants got the movie that shattered all records, full stop. International, most theaters, biggest domestic opening of all time.
But, you know, now that I look at it,
They still have no chance.
yeah.
No chance whatsoever.
Right.
Because they're gonna wind up. I think the previous Avengers were like 670 and 630. So let's say it does like almost 40% better or whatever, and gets to like 800 million. You're telling me that John Trekker won't blow past 800 million with Toy Story coming up?
Toy Story and It.
Yeah.
And It's going to do big too. So, I don't know. That Avengers, though.
Do you think Avengers could hit 800?
It might.
Might.
Yeah.
Because we just had a weak winter, and if it hits 7 or 8, there that feels like contention for me.
Yeah, I think so. But it gets it in the neighborhood of possibility. But
I mean,
I still wouldn't put my money
everything
on
has
it.
been soft. Everything was soft up till now. Like this was an exceptionally weak summer until Avengers came along
But-
and blew everything out of the water.
Specifically. Oh, well, here, let me.
So
go
I mean, I guess the question is, are people now going to be into seeing movies, or will it be the weak early summer coming back?
So
again?
let's say it hits 800 million, and they get, I don't know, 50 million for long shot or whatever. So 850. Then that means Captain Marvel, I assume, still making money at 415. Toy Story.
By the way, the number 2 movie of the week this week, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Yeah.
Toy Story 4 and It Chapter 2 together.
Would have to make less than $400 million.
And I just don't see that happening, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I think Frog Pants is out of the picture.
I mean, I guess it would not be the craziest thing in the world.
If there was some
that-
big
that-
rally.
Well, I mean, that Avengers continues to have ridiculous legs, right? Or that Toy Story 4 shows a little bit of strain on the franchise. Like, it's now the 4th
Could be.
there.
Could
like,
be.
And maybe people are like not as crazy about seeing Toy Story 4.
I'll tell you
Unless
what.
it's a return to form.
The
I mean, like, it might be good, but it's just more of an expectations thing.
the closer we get to May 10th, the better I feel about Detective Pikachu, and that
I
might be the
know.
one overperformer that none of us saw coming. which
Detective
would be great
Pikachu's
for
going
us.
to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think so, and I'm actually excited about it. I can't wait to go see it.
Well, we've talked about this before, but I love the marketing switcheroo where it's like, oh, it's what if Pikachu could talk and be awesome? And then we got used to that idea for a month, and they're like, psych, what if we made a Pokemon movie that you're already fucking stoked to see? Hey-oh, we're moneymakers.
Well, I think they've taken a few bites at that apple where like there was like, oh, okay, wait, do you are you guys Deadpool fans? Well, look, Pikachu farts and makes witty statements, and then they were like, oh no, wait, maybe we should just lean into this Pokemon thing. that we
Oh,
just made a
wild.
live-action
So,
Pokemon movie.
you've detected this not as a plan that's being executed, but as a corrective swerve they're doing.
I mean, I don't know why you would ever lean into Pikachu farts if
Yeah.
you weren't trying to go for Deadpool fans, and then like the next thing that happens is like, hey, let's do like a very saccharine, sweet, like It's a Wonderful World or What a Wonderful
It's a wonderful world of
Wonderful
Disney.
life.
It's a wonderful.
It's a wonderful life.
It's a wonderful life. Yeah.
No, and I think to myself, it's
Wait,
a wonderful life.
What a wonderful world.
What a wonderful world.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like we all took L's on that one. But like that was just this like flyover of look, Pokemon in real places doing real things in a popular movie that
And-
matters.
Early impressions that came out last week on social media from
crits?
influencers, influencers. So
Oh, okay.
is with Salt was this is the Pokemon movie you wanted, old folks.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So-
And so like this is gonna be for
I'm
everyone.
going to guess that some people want us to talk about Endgame, but we did that on this week's Weird Things podcast.
WeirdThings.com.
Yeah, if you want 40 minutes of us
my
running our
God.
An
mouths
hour.
off. Oh, what,
It was an hour of Endgame.
and then
It's
then
an
Game
hour
of
of
Thrones off that. Oh
Endgame.
my God.
Hey, that sounds like it's an hour of it.
yeah.
Hey!
There you go. And then Cord Killers, the spoiling time for
Yeah.
this week, cordkillers.com.
Stuff got a little heated.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I heard folks were trading pain.
Yeah, on
The yeah, and then somebody we had a disagreement about how we thought certain plot elements went, and then the next day somebody said maybe listening to the director flatly explain all the things will help, and so we did, and Tom tweeted
this was on Twitter.
yeah, he tweeted okay, I give up, and I was like, is that a oh, you got me this time, I give up, or was that a table flip. Like, I'm genuinely enraged. I give up on this
Can
crap.
I ask you guys a general spoiler question? Because
Okay.
I've seen this happen a bunch. Obviously, we had like a nerd weekend, the likes of which we have rarely seen in life. Endgame comes out on Friday. Game of Thrones, a big anticipated Game of Thrones episode comes out on Sunday. And then people were like on Monday and Sunday night were like, oh, Endgame spoilers apparently will get you stabbed in the eye, but people are spoiling Game of Thrones all the time. And I'm like, yeah, idiot. Like, not everybody can get, it's reasonable to assume that not everybody can get to a theater to watch a movie, right? Especially when tickets might be hard to come by in the first few days. But like, TV's communal. TV's like, that's what social media was like built around, was talking about what we're watching on TV.
Well, yes, and also it is reasonable to expect that a whole lot of people are watching. You would no more make that argument about a sports game or any of that stuff. It's reasonable to expect that in the world's chat room, people are going to be watching the thing that they're all watching.
So I posted a meme on Instagram, which like I thought was obtuse enough that people who are not both in tune with the idea that Drake, the musical artist, he's a bandwagon fan that whenever he roots for your team, they lose. And the end of the most recent episode of Game of Thrones. And so the picture was just him in a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey that had a Night King face on the front of it.
It's pretty good.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then the replies were just spoilers.
I mean, I am
Because
firmly.
also I put the caption as "Old God's Plan."
I am firmly of the plan of the position where if it matters to you, unplug from social media. It's not. It's on you to not look at what everybody's talking about. Not on everybody else to jump around. Now, having said that,
But that's a tough that's a tough experience also, especially if you are like if social media is a part of your routine, to just like abolish yourself from it until X, Y, or Z.
I mean, yeah, it's an active party. It's a really great party, and I can understand why someone would want to stay in that party from the moment they wake up until the moment they go to bed. And I'd imagine they'd have a tough decision of like, well, do I want to go to this party and loudly tell everyone to stop talking about certain things, or do I want to maybe
Well, I mean, look,
hold off on going to the party?
To me, I understand the etiquette on Endgame. Like, because getting to a movie is not as
it's not reasonable to
universal and
expect.
easy as watching a show is.
Yeah,
like,
limited seats, limited times,
yeah,
Sure.
it's flatly not possible for us to all watch it at the same time.
I just assumed that like social media was built on communal discussion of television. Like,
think so,
That
without a
that to
doubt.
me was something that was not out of bounds. Although maybe things are changing. I don't know. I don't have Twitter on my phone anymore, so it's like it's hard to keep up.
You
Oh
motherfucker.
my
This guy.
gosh,
This guy.
But do you have Hearthstone on your phone?
God, yeah. Jesus. That's all I play.
Because he doesn't play video games.
Hey, Bryce, do we have any emails?
We do have some emails. Let's open up the mailbag.
Join us for drinks in the Diamond Club.
The Diamond Club. That sounds grand.
Super grand. All right, we've got a email here from, where should we start? Let's do, here's an email from Lee, or Lay? Lee? How do you spell that? Leigh?
Lay. Lee? No,
Oh,
Lee.
Bonnie, you'll want to chime in on this.
Yeah, Bonnie was just about
subject
to.
line says.
Yeah, here we go. This is from Lay. Hey all, listening to the Night Attack podcast, and so happy to hear you talk about this conflict. The subject of this letter was United Methodist vote. I was raised in the First United Methodist Church in Omaha, Nebraska, and I've been really proud to follow this story during this time. This is the same church that got picketed in the late 90s by the Westboro Baptist Church because then Pastor Reverend Jimmy Creech performed same-sex commitment ceremonies despite being forbade to do so. My dad is still active in the congregation, and he says one of the hardest things is how many local pulpits met the news of the vote results with absolute silence, leaving their LGBTQ plus members with zero reassurances of support from their own home churches. I wanted to share his reaction and the message from the head pastor of the FUMC Omaha, Reverend Ken Little. They provided a link and kind of a little bit of a much longer letter that I think is
A bit long for this format.
Yeah. So this is about the Methodist Church is facing a schism.
Yeah.
as it would be referred to historically,
Well,
right?
I was having a hard time wrapping my brain around it because we go to United Methodist Church and they have and I thought the preacher did a really good job. He goes, hey, just so you know, we support same-sex marriages. We've seen people hurt by acting like they shouldn't, happen, or he was very eloquent. But then he said that the thing about our church is that we're international, and in a lot of the countries we're in, you can be murdered for
being out.
for being out, for performing these.
So like for safety, there's some people who are like, yeah, no, that would be a wonderful fantasy. And if we lived in America where we could welcomely open them with open arms, that would be great. But meanwhile, I'm kind of fond of our church family and would like them to, stay alive.
Yeah, and so I thought that was a really interesting perspective because they came together as an international church having to make decisions based on the world at large and not just
that does at least because it was surprising that the vote failed.
I thought it was.
Can we lay out what the vote is? I
don't know what the vote was.
don't know exactly what this vote means.
What we know as the United Methodist Church is actually only 50 years old. There was, and in fact, what we call the idea of a Christian was not a thing until the 1960s with JFK. JFK didn't want to be pigeonholed as a Catholic, so he referred to himself as a Christian as an umbrella term. Until then, everybody thought like we're all in different clubhouses, we all have different interpretations of the Bible. And then, in the 1960s, around that time, all these different flavors of Methodism, they all got together like, why don't we be the United Methodist Church? So it's only 50 years old. And now we're at a place where it's like I want to say it was like 10 or 15 years ago, they started these, open doors, open hearts, open minds, like let's be more inclusive. I believe the Episcopalians had already started doing LGBTQ ceremonies, but there was a movement to let's be welcoming in the doors, and it got to the point where there was some people like, I don't like it, I do like it. And then when it comes to like, what do we put in the Constitution, basically? And as Bonnie pointed out, to many people's surprise, it was very, very close. It was like 51-49. Yeah. They did not vote it in. And so now we're
being a stance
a stated official stance of inclusion throughout. And so and now we have here in America where the overwhelming majority of people want to be inclusive. We may not have a United Methodist Church, and there's like a full on split about to happen.
A schism.
Churches
got schisms.
Wow.
So
the schiz over jizz.
Oh my gosh! Yes, and so
Dateline 2019.
Skis, motherfucker.
Like I thought it was interesting though because he says if you want to, we like to have a public discussion and the preachers support same-sex marriages, but we are a church and we're not sure what we're going to do. We're kind of surprised. Mm-hmm. So, but we're going to go forward and we're still all a family. So, but then they were like, well, we're answering questions and we're talking about it in a forum. So when you send your letters in, just know we will post them and everybody can read them. And we will not edit them. So
and his eyes got real wide. He leaned forward and he goes, asterisk. Asterisk.
So let's keep it nice and I don't know. So I don't even know what our local church is. I know where at least the leadership is thinking, but what does that mean in general?
Yeah, I imagine the international element certainly does make it a sticky situation just realistically, but ideally you would like to think that I don't know. I am not involved in this.
But that's the thing is like that's what they want to do. That's who they want to be going forward. That's who they're going to attract and who they're not going to attract. Churches are organizations just like anything else. They make rules like anyone else. I feel like they should be allowed to have them, and you should be allowed to leave them if you don't agree with it. You know, I grew up in a very relaxed Methodist church. I was baptized at a Methodist church. I'd always described my experience with religion as something for which you could go from Methodist to atheist in a long nap.
Yep.
And,
I know Methodists can be kind
A long nap and a six-pack.
you just wake up one day and you're like, oh, yeah, God's not real. Okay, cool. Shit, man. Wow, that was weird. Wow. But, yeah, I had a tremendous time growing up going to vacation Bible school at a Methodist church, and I met so many of my friends that I'm still friends with today there and their families. So I have very little ill will, but what I would say here is, look, if you're going to show your ass, you're going to show your ass. And, either you're going to be inclusive or you're not, and that is going to define who you're attracting going forward.
Yep.
Yeah. It is interesting to see, I don't know, I've been going to church off and on my whole life, and I've not seen the level of activity of from people who I would not expect to be motivated to collect signatures and do that stuff.
Wow.
And it's been really interesting to see.
Yeah, it's and I was raised Catholic, but once you get to middle school, you don't want to wake up Sunday morning. You just want to, but it's leadership. The leadership of a religion is miles away from your on your street, right?
Yeah.
It's there's a vast gap there. I don't know.
Yeah, hey man, I get it. I watched the Young Pope. There's a lot of politicking happening.
I mean, this isn't about personal faith to me.
Oh no, not at all.
This is about whatever the rules on the bar wall are, right? Like this is the rules of the road being set by an organization, not whatever you believe in your heart.
Well, and it's tough too, because I would imagine there's a spectrum of how much picking and choosing people do on their personal faith, and then how much do they want to represent, and how important is consistency with previous dogma from a political perspective. Sure. If you're the guy who's always been like, no, it's the literal word of God, then how do you reconcile that with your past activity or whatever?
Or what the label that you continue to sort of operate under looks like publicly facing, despite your personal.
Well, and this is a weird thing to say, but you got to think about your brand. Like is this going to be positive?
But no. I mean, look, the rules are there so money can continue to come in and strengthen the cause. And even if you're looking at it from the most altruistic point of view, you're like, hey, look, all this shit costs. Like rent costs, upkeep costs, staff costs, like. So you need to continue to raise money. You need to bring in as many people as you can and have them excited as possible, just to keep the operation rolling. Beyond the theology of it, like there's an organizational element of it, and that's, I'm sure, where this is coming from.
Well, and plus also, this is me. I'm like, this is like when I was walking around the TwitchCon trying to help everyone. It's like it is possible to lean into controversy and have it yield positive results.
Yeah, do you want to record a personal message for the Methodist Church that we can tweet to them? You want to go full screen?
YouTube celebrity, Brian.
Yeah, YouTube celebrity. Yeah.
Anyway,
can we all do the intro?
I just hope everybody has a great day. Yeah. That's my message.
All right, what's the next email?
So thank you, Lile, and this contribution from your father.
Lile!
Yeah, it looks like Lee to me. Thank you, Lee.
Lile to his friends.
I believe. So we also got this from Greg. Greg writes, is there any way we can get Brian to watch and review this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race? The Maxi Challenge this week is a magic act, and I'd love to hear Brian's thoughts. It will air on Thursday night.
Number one, 100% yes. I love this. The only thing that makes me uncomfortable is it would be me talking about magic. I would be using my magic lens, and other people would be like, this is a person on the internet talking about magic through a different lens. That's the only thing. Like, it seems like a high wire act, but
I believe in you.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, it's probably great.
I believe in you. In their song.
There we go.
Yeah. All right,
Yep.
cool.
That's right.
We were just listening
Wait, hold
to
on.
Cher
Wait a minute.
earlier.
Did we watch it?
That's an Instagram post promoting the show that will air in.
Oh, saying, I thought it was a clip that we were about to watch.
Oh, no. That was just RuPaul saying that there will be a magic challenge in the show.
Well, shit, yeah. No, we'll talk. I mean, we are the #1 magic podcast on the internet.
Indeed. Although I would take this moment to say R.I.P. to Kashetta. She was the drag queen of magic, no longer with us, but had a hilarious act. So R.I.P. to a legend.
Mm-mm.
Is this I missed all of this. I was unfamiliar.
No, yeah. Kashetta was from Fort Lauderdale, so that's where wound up first meeting up, and then lived out in Vegas for a while, but had a hilarious. I mean, like, #1, I've always been in love with drag queen comedy. Like, for whatever reason, drag queen comedy is like the last bastion of insult comedy.
Of truly transgressive comedy.
Like,
where it's
truly,
yeah. No, that's a good way to put it.
And so Kashetta's act was basically like drag queen comedy with like some fairly basic magic routines. And it just, like, to me, is one of those great examples of the magic doesn't need to, like, fool Lance Burton. It just needs to be there enough for a crowd that's never seen magic before to be blown away. You can get that in any magic shop right now. Build your character. Because Kashetta was hilarious.
Neil Fleisch in the chat says, magic, Hearthstone, religion, spoilers, all the hot button topics.
Dead drag queens remembered.
So thank you to Greg for that email. We'll see if the guys watch that on Thursday. If you have a letter that you would like to send in to this portion of the show, mail@nightattack.tv. Just send it in for the mailbag, and we'll read it here on the show.
Hells, yeah, my God, that was a fun one.
Yeah, that one flew by.
We went a little bit longer than usual. Hey, man, what did we learn?
Brian, we learned that Vern Troyer is sub 3 feet.
we learned that Bonnie has a supernatural knack for using sexual terminology when it comes to talking about celebrities.
We learned that R.L. Stein will not be denied and is possibly a fan of the show.
We learned that people should go to patreon.com/nightattack if they want to have an improv sketch set about them next week.
And we learned that we'll probably be talking about planes in first class for the next 3 weeks.
We love you guys. And congratulations to the Bit Boss, who still is your man, Jeff 1.
Yay!
Seems like somebody could have, you had time. Anyway, die in a fire.
See you next Tuesday.
That I wanna drink a warm glass of Drano. Night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack. I love you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.